It's exactly 365 days, 12 months, 1 year since the inception of the Kcca Fc TV show. Guys, we just made the first anniversary since this show started. And on this one, we'll be showing you the highlights of the past 12 months on how everything has been unfolding on this show. We also have the highlights of the Stanbic Cup game, the quarterfinal, the second leg that was between Kcca Fc and Express Football Club at the MTN Omondi Stadium. Also the reactions from the coach and the players. And we also have a field interview this week from Ggaba Market. Guys, it's a playthrough on the show tonight. It is season 2, episode 26 of the Kcca Fc TV show. My name is Magero Mwanje. You and I are walking this journey together. Now, to start it off with the club news from Kcca Fc. Now, this week, or the week that has just passed by, FIFA wrote to all clubs and everyone that is involved in football and everyone that is under the federation, that is the Federation of Uganda Football Association, and informed them that, just read you the letter, the funds at FIFA organized and authorized competitions. As you are all aware, according to statistics from the Ministry of Health, there is an upsurge in the number of COVID cases as well as deaths in Uganda. FIFA had earlier on allowed 200 funds to watch FIFA organized competitions with strong adherence to the SOPs. That is no longer tenable because of the current situation. And therefore, in order to ensure the health and safety of players, technical staff and all stakeholders, all matches shall be played without spectators or fans until further notice. And just to wind the letter up, SOPs must be strictly observed and COVID vaccination enhanced through the country. And this was written by the Deputy CEO, Mr. Kcca Fc. And the letter came in from FIFA, and that meant that Kcca Fc, ahead of that game between Kcca Fc and Express Football Club that happened on Friday, was not to have any fans in the stadium. If you watch that game, it was live on TV, you realize that only officials from Kcca Fc and officials from Express Football Club were able to attend that game. And now to get straight into that one, away from the FIFA later, now guys, you get to know it that we've got to stay safe, maintain and observe all the SOPs that were given to us by the Ministry of Health, and COVID is real. And now that means that for the remaining 4 league games, we will not have fans. Even until further notice, we don't know when this will happen, but just get that vaccination and make sure you observe the SOPs. Now straight into that game that Kcca Fc played without fans on Friday. Kcca Fc hosted Express Football Club in the quarterfinal. That is the second leg of the 47th edition, the Stanbic Cup, that game being at the MTN Omondi Stadium. Remember, the first leg that was at the Mutesa 2 Stadium in Wankulukuku ended 0-0. And that meant that Kcca Fc had only to win the game at the MTN Omondi Stadium. And the game ended 1-1, and that meant that Kcca Fc is out of the Stanbic Cup. The game definitely started on a very high note, Kcca Fc asking more questions than the visitors, Express Football Club, that were on the back foot for the biggest part of the opening stages of the game. Kcca Fc starting this game with without players like Dennis Iguma, who was suspended due to accumulation of 2 yellow cards in the competition, and players like Peter Magambo, who was injured and could not feature in this one. But then the positive was that Sam Senyonjo, the striker of the football club, and Sadata Naku, both graduates from the FIFA Juniors League, were to return for this one. And they returned, they both started ahead of Charles Tuanga, who started the first leg. The game started in a very good note for Kcca Fc, asking more questions, attack after attack, and also having that feel-good moment because we were at home. And in the 47th and the 42nd minute, just 3 minutes before the halftime break, Sadata Naku received a very good pass from Ashraf Mugume in the midfield, and just on the edge of the 18-yard box, Sadata Naku curled in a very beautiful goal to give Kcca Fc the lead, a blinding goal, I should say, very deft strike from the young man, the 20-year-old Sadata Naku, to give Kcca Fc the lead just before the interval, and Kcca Fc taking the advantage into the second half. And both teams returned in the second half, obviously. Kcca Fc trying to hang on and to make sure they win the game and proceed to the semi-finals. A couple of cautions happening in the second half because Samuel Kato was cautioned, that was given a yellow card for a foul. And Kcca Fc kept on asking questions. A couple of substitutes made during the game, Anukani coming on, with Balinya Juma, plus also Charles Ruanga replacing Kezron Chizito. And I mean, definitely Kezron Chizito coming off because he was a little bit tired. Ashraf Mugumi also coming off, and Sam Senyonjo. Those are the guys that were subbed off. And then Kcca FC kept on, I mean, hanging on for this goal to make sure the goal would take the football club in the semi-finals. And in the 83rd minute, Express Football Club had an attack. And definitely there was a very good save from the captain, that is Mr. Charles Okwago. And after he had saved this ball, just when he was about to make that goal kick or probably spread the ball to probably the wingers or the wing backs on the day, one Charles Musige is in front of him and the captain shoves the player just in front of the referee of the day, that is Mr. Ali Kadu. And he made no mistake, pointed at the spot, the penalty spot, and that meant that Express Football Club were awarded a penalty in the 83rd minute. Martin Chiza stepped up to slot in that goal, that penalty, that meant that Express Football Club would get the equalizer for this game. The game ended 1-1 because Kcca FC kept on asking questions for the remaining 7 minutes. But it was a little bit too late, and that meant that at 1-1, Express Football Club would proceed to the semi-finals. And that exactly meant that Kcca FC will conclude the 2020-2021 season without any silverware, because the only chance the club had to get anything about silverware was in the Stanbic Uganda Cup, because for the league, the club is on 45 points, and in the remaining 4 games, even if they won all the 4 with maximum points and the teams above lost, the biggest the club can get is 57 points. Yet the leading club, which is Express Football Club, has 58 points. So the biggest thing the club can do, if all the clubs above Kcca FC in the league lose all the remaining games, is to get 57 points, which is a little bit impossible. So that meant that Kcca FC will not win any silverware for this season. It's been a roller coaster of a season. So many things happening, but that's what it is. And just in case you missed it, you've just watched the highlights of everything that unfolded at the MTN Omondi Stadium. Are very, very ugly scenes for everyone involved in the football club. But that's the game. We'll really bounce back, and hopefully we learn from the mistakes as a football club. So we caught up with the manager, Kcca FC, Mr. Morley Byekwaso, after this game for his post-match reactions. And this is what exactly he had to say after this game.
I have to thank my players. These young lads really did a great job. And I have to thank God for the energy levels He gave them to see that they performed to our expectations. I cannot blame my team so much for what we have not achieved today. It was just a silly mistake of our captain, because he got the ball fast. He read well the cross. He got the ball fast, but I don't know, maybe they were exchanging words with that player, the oppositional player, and he had to react, but he reacted very, very awkward, because he had to know what the consequences would be. But he went on, he did that action, which costed us so much. We have nothing to do now. We need to concentrate so much and build this team. We need to reinforce in some departments to see that we come back strongly. This is not an academy where you can build for 3 years. We need to change the team where it has been lacking quality and character, to see that we play well next season. Those were just phases of the game. When a team wants to attack, to get a goal, when you are leading, it has to come all out. What you have to do, if you don't defend deep, you need to manage to have the ball all the time, which we are failing into. Kcca was a bit tired, that's why we made some changes to reinforce the squad. But we would have won the game. But as you saw the incident which happened, that incident really poured everything down for us. And we cannot blame much, because this is football, things happen. We need just to be strong. We are not going to kill anyone, but we need to know that next season, if we want to be champions, if we want to be on top, there are certain things we need to know, and there are certain things we need to develop in the team.
So that's it from the manager, Kcca Fc, coming out to say that he congratulated the players on the day. He said the players really gave in all their, everything they could, trying to make sure the club would get something from this game. He felt Kcca Fc was the better team on the day. And he says he was a little bit disappointed by that action from his captain on the day, but he says that is football. A lot has to change. If I'm to just highlight on what he exactly said, a lot has to change with this team. And he also says this is not an academy team. The football club has got to make some changes, that means some new signings, and also to get the character to win the club any silverware going forward. The club still has to compete in the Kcca Clubs Cup, which will be happening in July or August in Tanzania, and also challenge for the domestic leagues next season, that is for the Uganda Premier League and also for the Uganda Cup. So there is no CAF football for Kcca Fc next season because there is no silverware that has been won by the football club. Guys, we did not only catch up with the manager, Kcca Fc, we also caught up with the players, that is Aliro Moses and Gift Ali, to give their take after this game.
Bad day in office, not the result we wanted. We fought so hard. Obviously, we wanted to win, we deserved to win. But it was very unfortunate that we lost. We conceded in the very last minute. And in the manner in which we lost the game today, it was really not the way we wanted. We win as a team, lose as a team. Yes, it was a silly moment of madness for my captain, but I'm sure it was just human. We will continue working hard. Now, it's sad that we're going to end the season without silverware, but yeah, we're going to prepare for next season.
The game wasn't all that easy, first of all, because Express, we know it's full of players who are strong, players who have character, but we tried all we could, and what has happened, it has not happened because of maybe the goalkeeper, but it's for the whole of the team, and we are now suffering it as a team. So now, as we are out, we have to keep focusing. We have to finish the league well. We still have other 4 games of the league to play. We have to finish very well. Then maybe next season, that's when we have to start off very well and see what we have to do next season.
Fans, thank you for the support. Thank you for always being there for us. I'm sorry we let you down tonight, but yeah, there's always a next time. I love you.
Well, guys, that's it from the players of Kcca Fc. A little bit disappointed because they felt they played their hearts out on the day, but that's the game. And these things happen in the game. Unfortunately, you never want them to happen to your team. This time around, it happened to Kcca Fc, but we'll have to pick ourselves up and learn from our mistakes or from the individual mistakes that were made on the day and go forward. So guys, we'll be going to a break. When we return, we have the highlights of everything that has unfolded for the past 12 months on the Kcca Fc TV show. Just like I told you, it's the first anniversary since the inception of the Kcca Fc TV show. So much after this break. Now guys, welcome back from that break. Just like I told you, we have the highlights of the past 12 months of everything that has unfolded on the Kcca Fc TV show. Just to tell you, a short story about the Kcca Fc TV show, just in case you're someone who is new on the show or you don't know how this show happened to have started. Now, last year on 7th June 2020, in the middle of a pandemic, the Kcca Fc TV show started. And some of the objectives of having this show run was, one, to have the brand of Kcca Fc TV show, have the brand of Kcca Fc out there, well projected, and also have a platform where the club can tell its story. Very many times, the club has participated in things like the CAF Champions League, the CAF Confederations Cup, the Kcca Kagame Cup. And when you go out there, we do not only go to play football, but we benchmark with the best. And we've played teams like Al Ahly, Esperance, and the times we happen to have visited them in Egypt and in Tunisia, we got to see how do these guys actually operate. We found out that these clubs have a club TV, and for them it's a 24/7. And as Kcca Fc, we thought that we can start small and probably get there in the long run. So we started the Kcca Fc TV show. That was last year in the middle of the pandemic, when everyone thought that football was done. Probably, I mean, there was a lot of uncertainty when the game was to resume. But as a club, we said no. We can still have a platform where we can engage with the fans, where we can have content that can be consumed by the fans, that is of Kcca Fc, and also probably the enemies out there can learn a thing or two from us. And also we thought that we can have a platform where we can tell our story the way we want it to be told. Many a times we would have probably different TV stations telling our story, but not the way we want it to be told. So we started up the Kcca Fc TV show, and that was on the 7th of June last year, the first episode that aired. We've had 2 seasons. That is season 1 that had 26 episodes. Now we're in season 2, and this is the 26th episode. So much has happened on the show. And just like they said, I mean, yours truly, I've been the host for this show for some good time. That is for the past 1 year. Just like I told you, the show started in the middle of a pandemic. Definitely, once in a while, my other co-host, that is Robert Mulamule, coming in to host the show. So much has happened on the show. And as a club, we also look at it as one of the avenues that we can gain some revenue for the football club in the long run. And that means that we just need to have sponsors on the show. So in case you're watching out there, you can be like, hey, why don't I sponsor these guys? They have made 1 year. And if you're coordinating and you're collaborating or you're partnering with a club like Kcca Fc, it doesn't get better than this. So guys, the producer of this show combined and compiled something to just give you the highlights of how the show has unfolded from the first episode up to the 26th episode of season 2. It's been 356 days, just like I said, 12 months and 1 year. So in case you're someone new on the show, that is the Kcca Fc TV show, enjoy this. Good evening and welcome to the finest sports TV show in the land. A week engulfed with mixed feelings. My name is Magero Moses Mwanje. 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 You and I are walking this journey together. Now to start it off with the club news from Kcca Fc. This week, the club bowed out of the CAF Confederations Cup. Something very disappointing, I should say, but
we went into that game with definitely a plan to win that game and qualify.
The camp was devastated.
Try to amend the problems we had before.
Medicine and football both need time. So I do practice sometimes, that is in off-season.
this is what happened as history was being made at Lugogo.
Projects do start, but starting is not the moment to celebrate. We want to celebrate the moment of finishing, and we celebrate together.
The club reports a revenue of 4.4 billion. That is how much money the club generated. Player sales were 1.7 billion.
Kcca erigina kuzanya n'enkana Red Devils. Ku Saturday weekend eddako, kati Mr. nga ayagala nsamba omupiira ogwali guddako ogwo. Naye nadduka emisinde saalabikadako.
And for this week, we asked the fans on our social media platforms that name the Uganda Premier League sides.
How did
you get to know about the club?
My uncle is a referee, so he brought me here and we watched the game, and then I saw Kcca play and it was just perfect.
Tosobola kungamba nti omwana ngoyo ogenda okumuwa edakiika ezo zonna zonna ku kisaawe ng'abasambi abalina experience weebali.
Oba bwe simanyi nakumanya kubanga
timu yiyo jangu ogula omujoozi makumbi mu kiyembe naawe jangu ogula emijoozi.
I'm here to urge all our local sports fraternities
yani ayebwa ekyamazima najja Lugogo wano ku mupiira oguli wano ayinza okunkolera ekiriyo ebirala byonna byekola byokka bwembeera n'abasambi ng'abo.
Kcca terina numbers mu boxi. This is Banahebwa akubya mpira Banahebwa.
The Oduparaka keeper spilled the ball and Brian Aheba was in position to tap in the 8th for Kcca FC and his 4th on the evening.
Lunakura Brian Aheba goals zatandikira mbalala.
Favorite shot number?
4.
Favorite leg of the album?
R.
Shot 14.
14 anako.
Shot 8. Shot 30.
25.
What's work without play?
Top class stuff from the producer of the show, and you've seen how the show has really evolved. A little bit nervy at the start. Just like I said, everything has where it starts from. Many people saying, maybe the show will not last the test of time. Remember how we started this during the pandemic, unveiling after unveiling, putting in that anticipation. People were not sure who was our next signing. And some of you would guess a different player and then would come on the show and unveil a different player. Just like I told you, we wanted to have our story told our way. That is the Kcca Fc way. And I'm quite sure you enjoyed how everything happened, the pomp and glam around the unveilings and how everything unfolded. Showing you the highlights. Most of you don't watch these games because you're at office during the week, but you're able to watch the highlights of the Kcca Fc games on the Kcca Fc TV show. So it doesn't get any better than this. Top class, the producer of the show, and we really, really appreciate it. So guys, we caught up with the fans, asking them for their opinions of what they think about the Kcca Fc TV show and what they think should change or what should be added going forward, because this show is here to stay and we hope it can see probably its 10th anniversary. It's just made its first anniversary. So here are the fans giving their opinion of how exactly this show should be in the long run. Have a look.
Amanya nze Sesanga Chikomeko Musa Nkoba na mvudde mukono.
Amanya gange nze chairman wa timu no stress Kawempe, the vice president Kawempe Kcca fans club.
Amanya gange nze Kajubi Pius ngambera mukono Kisoga omwagizi wa State Council Kulwe.
Hello, my name is Jimmy Remy Orotin, a fan of Kcca FC and an ardent follower of Kcca TV.
Nasanyuka nnyo okulaba timu yaffe nga timu esoose okola program ku TV era ngekola era program ne bagiteeka ku TV ya Sanyuka. Kuba timu yaffe yali egeza international whereby timu so kubanga zino timu nene zi Chelsea za Arsenal zi Barcelona ezina program ku TV era ezina TV zaabwe. Naye ekintu kyenjagala at least ongoseemu kobye bino wammanga obudde nsaba samuko wansi bagiteekawo wakati w'okuva ku ssaawa 2 paka ne batussaawa emu naye nga y'amaanyi. Obulango bakuba bungi ku program kibajataga ne bagiwa obulango ne bamu obulango nga bwa timu yokka oba ne basponsa baffe nga Star Times, Ritamu, Inshwali Ritamu, MTN ekirala ekiri ku program ene ennungi. Program yaffe mbadde nsaba nga nsaba busabi at least batuweeko ka repeat. Program ebebeerawo ko ku Sunday baddemu ko bagitulage ku Lwokubiri ku makya oba ku Lwokusatu ku makya mukko. Waliwo abantu abatasobola kubeerawo ku kiro abakola gy'ekiro ng'ate emisana baba basobola ogiraba.
Nebaza omukisa guno ogwa TV yaffe eyasanyuka ne programu yaffe gye yatuwa ne TV yaffe gye yatuwa ey'abawagizi b'omupiira ng'ate tuwagira Kcca n'abawagizi abalala bonna abakirabu endala Express, Villa ne timu endala eziri mu liigi. Bannaye tugenda kweza mwaka nga TV yaffe eno tweyanza aba NBS ne Sanyuka okutuwa omukisa guno ngaffe abawagizi b'omupiira ab'e Uganda. Ebintu bino twabirabanga nga tubiraba bweru nga ne TV endala ez'ebweru nga tulaba Manchester ina TV, Arsenal ina TV, Madrid ina TV, naye naffe ne tufuna omukisa ng'abawagizi b'omupiira gw'e Uganda ne batuwa TV yaffe nga ffe naddala aba Kcca.
Timu eno ngiwagidde ndowooza okuva lwe natandika okutegeera. Naye okuva lwe mwatuteerawo Kcca TV kituyambye nnyo okwongera okufuna obuwagizi n'okumanya ebikwata ku ttiimu yaffe munda. Kituyambye pozi kyetusaba mutwongerereko okututeerangako emipiira egyo replay naddala eminene tulabeko. Pozi n'ensonga endala gye ngenda okwogerako y'ensonga y'abazannyi ku kisaawe wano. Abazannyi baffe balwala nnyo. Nze kyensuubira nti kapeti eyinza okuba bwe buzibu. So mbadde nsaba management etufunire ekisaawe eky'omuddo abaana batrainingire nga ku muddo baleme kukozesa nnyo ttaafu eno budde bungi. Nze ndaba kiyinza otutaasa naye nga ttiimu ebulamu kutereezaako katono. Bazannyi kulwala nze ndaba kyekizibu. Bazannyi balungi naye singa tebalwala ttiimu ejja kuba ekola bulungi.
I believe we've had a challenging season because of COVID and all this, and one of the initiatives from Kcca that has been very instrumental has been the Kcca TV. Being the first club doing it in Uganda is an experience to live for, and we'll continue to set the parameters for the other clubs. And for me, it's been the highlight of the season, regardless whether we didn't take a trophy or not. The fact that we have the TV, especially in the COVID times, and being able to reach out to our fans is a positive that we want to take as one of the highlights of the season.
Ekirala artist buli lwa Sunday bandituletedde nga abazannyi basatu ne bamutunnyonnyola omwana weeno atandikira muno ttiimu ne batuwa profile y'omuzannyi nga nsava okuva wansi paka ku waggulu. Kale essaawa zino ngeri tutandise otunda abazannyi wabweru nga olaba Mustafa Kiza ne batunnyonnyola ku Mustafa Kiza engeri gye yatandikamu omupiira gwe bakooki abazze nga bamutendeka ne babatulaga kuva wansi amasomero ge yasomerako mu bwekyo ne kigenda nga kyambuka abalanyokero ne bonna ne babaleeta n'abazannyi abaliwo essaawa zino baserwadda bakyalisirwanga na buli muzannyi ne bajja nga bamutulaga bulungi nnyo buli gye yava okuva wansi paka waggulu. Profile yo netuba nga tugimanyi ffe ng'abawagizi.
Bane tubasaba mugende mu maaso tujjako programu eno mwongeremu amaanyi mugenda ku muntu wa wansi muleme kubeera mu kibuga wano wokka. Kimanyi ne mu kyalo mwatuuka TV gye NBS nesanyuka naye n'abawagizi abo aba wansi eri nabo mubatuukeko mubeere ebibaluma bye baagala ebirowoozo byonna ebikulakulanya omupiira waffe ne TV yaffe sanyuka ne NBS ebirowoozo ebyokola kyokulakulanya TV yaffe. Naye nze nganze asiina kyentoma kubanga obudde mubutuwadde wano mu Kampala ng'abawagizi ba Kcca b'omupiira ne kirabu endala mugende mu maaso nga mwongeramu n'abo abantu ba wansi. TV yaffe ebeere ng'omuntu wa wansi okubira ddala wansi eri mu kyalo eri ng'abeera ku TV ng'ayogera ebyemizannyo kuba gye bali bangi bawagira naye tebalina mukisa ng'ogerako eri ku TV. Ngaffe ab'omu Kampala tulina omukisa. Nze kyensaba kubanze TV yansanyuka njagala ne NBS njagala.
The TV show has been able to cater for majority of the fans. Those that speak in the local language, those that speak in English, the ability to tap the fan zone after the game, for me that's an interesting one because we didn't foresee that we would have that on ground. The ability to tap the coach's word or presser that is going out on the week, and so those are very key initiatives that as defined for us this season. I want also to be thankful, especially to the media team, that they chose a day within which every fan could access the TV or something like that. I would have a proposal or a proposition that if we made it a little bit earlier on Sunday, it will be an interesting one. But of course, all this comes with the dynamics of media and adverts and what needs to be done here and there. And we will not take it as something that they can do that urgently. But overall, for me, the Kcca TV has been one of the biggest tools that Kcca can use to reach out to the fans who cannot come to the stadium, especially in the period when we had games behind closed doors and all that. And going forward, I believe it will be a tool that we can use even for other publicity drives, even for other fund drives that we want to use going forward. And probably if we could increase on the frequency of the shows, it would make much more sense, especially to the fan who cannot access the stadium.
Top stuff from the fans, and we really take your opinions very, very seriously, because at Kcca FC we are very civil. So we have listened, and hopefully some of the suggestions, or if not all the suggestions that you've made, will be put in place. So we really, really appreciate your feedback. We take it very positively, and we'll work on some of these things. So guys, we're going to be going to a break. When we return, I told you we have a field interview. This time around, we made a short trip to Ggaba Market. Interesting stuff from everything that happened down there, guys. Everything after this break. Guys, welcome back from that break. Just to keep going for the Kcca Fc TV show, to give you something about our players in the Uganda Cranes. We have 3 players that were summoned in the national team. That is Charles Lukwago, the captain of the football club, and Brighton Nukani, a midfielder, and also Steven Serada, another young midfielder, summoned for the first time on the senior national team, being a player for the under-20, and also worked with Morley Byekwaso still on that under-20 team. And all the 3 were summoned for the Uganda Cranes. Now the Uganda Cranes will be flying to, that is South Africa, tomorrow, Monday, and where they will play friendly against the Bafana, that is the South African team. And remember, South Africa also has a new coach, just like Uganda has Mr. Abdallah Mobiru, who has been around, I think, for about 3-4 games in charge. And definitely South Africa will try to think probably they want to win this one. But as Kcca Fc, we have 3 players that are representing Uganda. And also Kcca Fc in this game, I told you, Charles Lukwago, Brighton Nukani, and Steven Serada. The team flies out on Monday, which is tomorrow, aboard the Uganda Airlines. That is the airline for the country. That is the airline for Uganda. And also the game will be happening on the 10th of June, which is Thursday this week. It will be a friendly game, and also something that will help the Uganda Cranes team to know probably where everything stands ahead of the games that will be happening. That is the World Cup qualifiers and also the future games. So a lot of new faces in that one, players that have not been regulars on that Uganda Cranes team, and also having a new captain in Emmanuel Okwi, a very regular player on the Uganda Cranes team but has not been the captain, is now in charge of things. We only wish them the very best in that friendly game that will be happening this week on the 10th of June in South Africa. Guys, I told you we have a field interview this week. Now, Robert Mulamule, my co-host, someone who has been here sometimes before when I've not been able to make it for the Kcca Fc TV show. This time around went to Ggaba. This is where he resides, by the way. So he's a very familiar face when it comes to everything to do with Ggaba, which is in Mwanje division. And he caught up with, you know, when we talk of Ggaba, most of you know Ggaba for probably being a fishing place. They have a very good market down there. If you want very probably quality fish, you can make it down that side to Ggaba. So this time around, we asked them about Kcca Fc. Also asked them about the Kcca Fc TV show, what they think about the show, what they think should change about the show, and also a couple of other questions. Some of them won jerseys, and some of them did not win jerseys. So this is what happened when we made that short trip to Ggaba Market this week.
Wabanye Moses Magero Mwanje ali mu studio tuli wano Ggaba kalo amatendo tumitinza abawagizi ba Kcca Football Club tugenda babuuzamu ku bibuuzo bewangulire emijozi brand new jerseys tandike nani ani ali seti aliwa sebo je bali kale sebo nende amanyago amanya bampita Sudiman Kitala erinnya lyange bampita Nsumba Sudais Sudiman Kitala wagira timu ki mpagira Kcca Fc wagira Kcca yogide bangati nataka kujwagira 28 alina pia 28 ujijukira naye kyensinga okujjukira twalina Robert Sentongo nga musajja w'amaanyi nnyo ng'akuba amagolo mangi. Kcca TV ogiraba? Njagala ku Sunday. Anyagala nkubuuze Kcca TV emazeewo mwaka ki myaka emeka? Kcca TV egenda kuweza mwaka gumu n'ekitundu kyetandika. Egenda kuweza mwaka gumu n'ekitundu. Kcca TV weze mwaka gumu. Naye njagala nkubuuzeyo ekibuuzo. Kintu ki walabye Kcca Fc TV ne kikusanyusa? Kyensinga okujjukira nalaba interview y'omu ku bawagizi baffe Kasim Chaze nensanyusa nnyo kuba balaga ewe wabeera nga muwagizi wa Kcca Fc nga tasulidde na Uganda Cranes nga bwotuukewo ku nyumba yalinako paati ensige eya Kcca Fc neya Uganda ng'ensi kyasanyusa nnyo era nenfuna okwagala eri ttiimu nti bafuna interaction n'abawagizi baabwe ekintu ekirungi kuba tekisanyika nnyo mu Uganda okusanga ttiimu erina ekintu bwe kityo.
Kanjagala nkubuuza ekibuuzo kimu nk'omujozi gwo guno eno ani top scorer wa ttiimu yaffe season eno?
Charles Wanga Neymar.
Alina goal meka?
Kyemanyi alina double figures, alina goals ziri 12 na assists 11.
Kale sebo Suleiman Chitala ngina ko omujozi gwo gwa green kuva mu kanso gwambalirawo mujozi tegusula.
Nayanza nnyo Kcca Fc omujozi gwe bampadde guno kyamanyi nnyo okuddiza eri abagizi baabwe. Tusaana ttiimu yala zikikope.
Kale sebo waliwo omulala akyewulira
ondabawo
wane amanyago
erinnya nze Jonke
nenga oli muwanvu Jonke wagala kunsinga buwanvu
nakuba nnyo omupiira ne bagunnemesa.
Ani yakulemesa omupiira?
Baneno bakocha batayagaliza kale nakubako pulo naye ne bagunnemesa nga batukuba enkokola nga omanyi ebintu bya Uganda bakubuza ovudde wako kikyakuleese ne bagunnemesa naye omanyi enswala z'abantu.
Wali okuba namba ki?
Mwana ffe nakubanga mwena ng'empira zigikiriza kumpitako.
Ate mwenda nga tokiriza mpira kuyitako.
Era sakiza ng'ompira kasee gujja bwe guti sikuganya oba wansi oba waggulu mikono magulu byonna nteba buteebi.
Kale sebo wane amanyago
erinnya nze Jonke Nuupu.
Jonke Nuupu kanupu katukaleke njagala kubuuzayo ekibuuzo nkuwa omujozi guno. Oli seeti?
Nnyo n'amaanyi.
Ekibuuzo n'okitta?
Nakimaze dda gwaluddewo.
Kibuuzo ki kye wamaze?
Ekibuuzo kye nabaze nze nkimanyi ogenda kumbuuzako n'omwana ono gwe twakatunda Serwadda.
Kankubuuze kwoyo kale Serwadda yambala shirt namba ki?
Kale lwakuba shirt namba nalibaddeyo njagala nnyo naye katikati olaba wano batadde ekisaawe kyaffe Philipo Moni Stadium mbale njagala bakyuseemu ku kapeti eyo.
Uliza Jonke gwaba mbuuza wagala kumbuuza nkuwa ombuuze. Serwadda omumanyi?
Serwadda mumanyi twamutunze lwakuba contract tennaba
kale twamutunze mu ttiimu ki?
Twamutunze enewali mu New York Red Bulls.
Kankuwa omujozi Jonke nkwerekereze naye onsibye
asikubya nkubulya mazima naye eno gundi yaffe eno gye bagala ogira eno dressing room ye kati bagala gijjayo eno ate bagizeeyo eri wano mbadde ngimanyiridde nze mbadde ngitegeera.
Wani amanyago?
Musisiro nadi naye eri oli bategeera
Ggaba bamanyi mbolimboli lwaki bakuyita mbolimboli?
Wayi bakopaluka ku naye ate semuwagira.
Tunule eno mukamera kamera njagala zibe nga zikulaba.
Ate semuwagira.
Bakopani?
Lukaku.
Amanyago abaana bawano basadachanaku.
Ndi Alani Okero.
Alani Okero. Ogira kilabu kiwanira?
Kcca.
Omuwagizi wa kanso. Yogiride banga ki?
Yakanga 10.
Ubuze ekibuuzo nkuwa omujozi oba nkireke?
Mujozi kuba ebibuuzo byonja bita mangu.
Ogenda kuta ebibuuzo?
Wangoberera.
Kubuuzayo ekibuuzo.
Kapteni wa Thomas oyo okyaya.
Kankubuuzeyo ekibuuzo. Timothy Awani nga tannabeera kapteni ani yali kapteni? Kikuyinze waliwo wakasanke anti agoberera wangambye mutimu ogigoberera kubuuzeyo ekirala w'omukisa gumu ogoberera. Mike Mutebi abadde kochi waffe nga talinajja ani yali kochi?
Olaba abo olamulo yagala kungoba ku mujozi oba kubaka kati nze ntalikidde ku Mutebi ng'alese basentengo bomuuni nga tukuba bonyangu tubajjamu.
Season ki wasinga kati nkwayo omukisa gumu kuba omujozi njagala gukuwa. Season ki gye wasinga okulaba? Season ki
nasinga okulaba gyetwa Ani Okero gye yasembayo zannyo.
Ani yali top scorer mu eyo season?
Owakyo wali gye
owa council
yali Okero yennyini
yakuba golome
ezimanyi mbankulimba
omujozi kankuwe buwi mukama wange gwani amanyaga geni?
Nze Musisiro nadi.
Waliwo omulala emijozi gigwawo jangu kapi kambuuza ono mbate kambuuza ono lasita mbate njagala
anti Kcca kyejijukirako nga yadde sigiwagira kiri ekintu eki
kimu ono kochi nga ono abaddeko tannavaako waliwo Samu Simbo we yagitendekerako awo nali ngimatiriramu kwa katinitini yadde ndi muwagizi wa Vipers
kale sebo webale nnyo sebo
ebibuzo bize wono
kanziro wono sebo gyebali
kale sebo gyebali
amanya go gwana
Kenny Rogers
oli musambi wa mupiira
nawummula
ate okola ki
nina akademi yange eyo mu kyalo
mu kyalo Kcca
kanse mmanyi bulungi era obuuza Morley Byekwaso nze yasemba okuba mutebi omupiira wagulaba
kale sebo
okoberawo enkeera
weyamukuba omupiira neyegoba timu ki
timu eyo ngiyita timu eyo nagituma lockdown select eva Ggaba
lockdown select kanyagala nkubuuze ekibuuzo Kenny Rogers onkuwa omujozi ogusigaddewo soke mpitemu keno mu katale ndaba abawagizi abalala ready ekibuuzo nkireete
era ndi ready
mpaayo ba defender bana abali ku Kcca
defender bana asokera ddala Iguma asooka ddala Iguma Peter Magambo Ochayi akubale esatu oyo abati achayi ne Obenchani Filibati oye obi wange Kiboli baba
baweddeyo coach kankuwa omujozi gwo tugenda kuddamuko tuyitemuko mu katale tufune ku bawagizi ba kanso abalala tubongere emijozi tulina emijozi mingi tovaawo
So top stuff, Robert Mulamule, very, very interesting questions that you really gave to the folks down there in Ggaba Market, and we'll make our other trips, guys, around the various markets in the country, and also to keep creating awareness and also to grow the brand of Kcca FC, not only the markets but also different divisions, because Kampala, where Kcca Football Club has a couple of divisions. So we'll be making our trips to different divisions to make sure we catch up with the fans, get to hear the opinions, what they think should change in the football club, and also to hear different debates from these guys. Now, guys, as we hit the final bend of this show, I want to just remind you that the Wear Your Local Jersey campaign is still going on. And as Kcca FC, we have new stuff. Just to tell you, we have some discounts when it comes to our jerseys this season because it's an end of season offer. So our third kit, which is the green kit, has been at 30,000 shillings. Now it's at 20,000 shillings. So you can go to the MTN or Mwanje Stadium and be able to get that. And also, in case you want a player version shirt, player version jersey, which is full, it goes for 70,000 shillings. That is a shirt and a short. Remember, the player version shirt is different from the fans replica because the fans replica is still available, but at 35,000. So in case you want it branded with your name at the back, that goes for 55,000. But the players version shirt is 70,000 shillings, which is a shirt and a short. All this is available at the MTN Mwanje Stadium. So guys, make your way just to the stadium, which is in Lugogo, and you'll be able to get yourself, that jersey, and you'll be able to have a jersey which is as similar as the jersey players like Iguma, Mazengo, and all those Kcca FC players put on. The exact jersey, that is the player version jersey, in case you're asking what is the difference between a player version and the fans replica. So guys, that's it for the Kcca Fc TV show tonight. I told you we have made the first anniversary since the inception, since the commencement of the Kcca Fc TV show. That means 365 days, 12 months, and 1 year since the inception of this show. We're making strides, and we hope that we'll have different people come on board, probably sponsors, probably partners, and we're very proud for everyone who has made this show last the test of time. That is from last year in June up until this year in June. Said last year on the 7th of June, today is the 6th of June, which marks 365 days. Since this show started, we told you of our three players, Lukwago and Lukani and Serada, that will represent Uganda in that friendly game against the Bafana next week on the 10th of June in South Africa. We also told you that Kcca FC has no chance to win any silverware this week because this week it bowed out of the Stanbic Uganda Cup and also has no chance to win the StarTimes Uganda Premier League. The club has got to go back to the drawing board and make sure it plans better ahead of the 2021-2022 season. So it's been a plethora on the show, guys, tonight. Big ups to Robert Mulamule for that interview at the Ggaba Market. We'll be making very many trips around different regions in this country to have the fan zone bigger and better. That's been it, season 2, episode 26 ends here. My name is Magero Mwanje. Have a good night.